In this video, I'm going to talk to you about decorating your sculptural letter. Just remember, you must use at least 3 decorating materials in a cohesive and neat way. Some options are construction paper, magazines, paint, Sharpies, and found objects. If you wish to bring in something else, you can feel free to do so and use it in your sculptural letter. It's important for you to know that some of the materials we have available, like acrylic paint and Mod Podge, are permanent. Wash your brushes thoroughly and work only on a covered surface. You also must wear an apron when using acrylic paint, as it will stain your clothing. Let's just quickly review how to add some 3D effects. You can put some paper mache paste on newspaper and crumble that up into your desired form. Place it on your letter and then add strips of paper mache newspaper to hold down the 3-dimensional forms. The first decorating option I'll talk to you about is adding construction paper. This fish is made entirely out of paper mache, newspaper, and construction paper. I made it using the same technique that Mr. Teal is going to demonstrate for you now. Mr. Teal is going to use the red construction paper on the outside of his letter only. He starts by taking the red construction paper and tearing it into quarter-sized pieces. After he has a nice little pile of them, he applies them using paper mache paste and overlaps them as he goes so that there's no newspaper showing. Just try to avoid using the outside straight edges of the construction paper, or else they might show. Another way to add color to your letter is to use paint. Place a little paint onto one of the paper plates and then begin painting. You'll throw away the paper plate when you're finished. You can layer on colors and you can use regular paint or metallics. You can use paint for the background, or you could actually paint pictures onto your letter. The pictures could be a whole scene, or they could be simple designs. Creating a collage using magazine images or other images is another great idea for decoration. First, you would want to collect a whole bunch of pictures or words in a bag. I have plenty of Ziploc bags, and we have lots of magazines for you to use. Once you have a good collection, lay them out on your letter. See how they fit and see how they look. When you're sure you want to commit to them, then you'll need some Mod Podge. Mod Podge is like glue, but you use it under and over the pictures. Use a foam brush for the Mod Podge. Mod Podge dries clear, and it is very permanent, so make sure that you don't get it on your clothing, and just understand that once it starts to dry, it is going to stick down, and your magazines will rip if you try to take it back off. Once you have applied Mod Podge under each image, then you're going to apply a layer of Mod Podge over everything. This can be done while the Mod Podge is still wet underneath. Another idea is to collage words. I used words only on the outside of my letter and then pictures on the front of my letter. Mr. Teal is going to collage his using comic book images like this one. Keep in mind, you can also combine different materials in the same area of your letter. For instance, I applied a thin coat of metallic paint on top of my collaged area of the T. The last thing I will demonstrate for you is how I prepared the background of my T for a Sharpie drawing. I first painted the entire T with white paint. You could also use white gesso. We have both. Once it's thoroughly dry, as in it's been a day, then you could draw with Sharpie on top of that prepared surface. For mine, I just used a black Sharpie and I just doodled. Other ideas we thought we'd share with you are adding found objects. These are any objects that you wish to bring in. They could then be painted if you wish, or left showing their original colors. You also could build up textures using things like tissue papers or construction papers. And I want to tell you about artist Juliana Szabo, who is known for creating sculptural letters using only paper. Yes, these are made with paper only. I'm not expecting that your letters will be this intricate, However, it's always great to shoot for the stars. So, now is the time for you to decide, what will you do? Make sure you complete a colored sketch to plan your decorating. The more detail you add, the better. Also, keep in mind the grading requirements. Craftsmanship, 3D effects, materials for decoration, choosing at least 3, and overall design are what you will be graded on. While we want you to be as creative as possible, just make sure that you adhere to these requirements so that you can also earn the grade that you deserve. As always, make sure you clean up well. You are being given a lot of freedom to choose different materials to use for this project. But if you abuse that freedom or don't clean up after yourself, the choices will be made for you.